Here we go, episode 74 uploaded and coming at you here on Horse Race Bets. Let's get into it. Man, a whole lot of stuff happened since the last time we talked, right? Let's get into so many things to cover. You know what? Let's get to the good news first. Yeah! Friday, we had a play of the day with race number 8 on the card from Santa Anita. It was our number 7 horse, Smooth Salute, with our money rider, Giovanni Franco. I hope that you watched, and that dude just, I love him. He makes things happen. And I'm still really mad that he used to have the mount on Senior Buscador. Remember that horse? And they took him off and gave it to Junior Alvarado. I'm like, why would you do that? This dude's kicking ass. Whatever. That's the owner and the trainer. They have their preference. That's fine. Anyways, Giovanni Franco gets money, and he came through for us in a big way on Friday. The thing that we also did was, though, we have to realize when to make an adjustment. I talked to you about how I loved him in the last race. I like him in all the races. By the time we got to the card on Friday, I realized, oh, he's also got a runner in race number 7 that I like quite a bit. Now, at that point, I played a pick 5 ticket, and I was out. So I'm like, well, who's your best friend when you're out? The double, right? The double is the best wager ever. So what we ended up doing was taking that $20 to win on Smooth Salute, put it down to $15 to win, took the $5 and played the ice cold Giovanni Franco double in races 7 and 8, and that's where we really made our money. So we get $214.50 back on the win wager for Smooth Salute. Then we get $4.79 on the $5 double with our man. It was beautiful. It worked out great. So that really, really, really made our weekend, and we go into Saturday, feeling really good about our prospects. Once again, you have to have one money rider that you just, it's a go-to for you, and they make a lot of difference. And sometimes your goal is to get to that rider before everybody else figures it out, right? I think a lot of folks know that Giovanni Franco is an awesome rider, but there's just so many other riders that people just gravitate towards others. That's fine, but that's not how gamblers work. Every single one of us, we have a rider that's kind of under the radar. We're like, that rider, man or woman, is money. So for us, it's Giovanni Franco on the West Coast. All right, let's go to Saturday's action on the East Coast, right? We thought it was going to be an off track for the Peter Pan. It was not. We thought Johnny V and McAfee would be able to score at about 7 or 8 to 1. They did not, because the horse that we like but we refused to bet, Hill Road, came through with a really nice turn of foot in the lane. Now, it helped that Captain Cook and McAfee were not going anywhere on the inside. I knew Johnny was going to beat the horse to the inside, but then once they turned for home, you could see here comes Hill Road. And even though he didn't switch leads, he was good enough to pass them in the stretch. Hey, that was impressive. I mentioned how I love the horse, but I wasn't going to bet him at that short price. 5 to 2 on the morning line, 2 to 1 post time for a horse like that. Can't do it. Can't do it. And if you won, hey, good on you. But I know this sounds stupid, but I would much rather lose taking a chance with a price horse than to bet the favorite and be unsure. You never want to single closers. That's just bad. Bad. But Hill Road looked good. So here's the thing that's interesting, right? So he beats our horse. Now they have decided that was so good. Hill Road's going to go in the 1.25 mile Belmont Stakes, not 1.5 miles, 1.25 mile Belmont Stakes. So now Hill Road joins Baeza and your Derby winner Sovereignty in the Belmont Stakes. So that makes that race really interesting. And we'll get some other horses in there as well. And so we'll see how that field starts to take shape. But that's going to be it's going to be interesting. But not even the biggest news over the weekend. You know what the biggest news was. So first, bad news for Bob Baffert. Rodriguez is out again. Bad news for us, too, because we know that horse has speed, and you need to be able to handicap the race, and you need to have certain components, and we knew that horse was going to bring the pace. So that horse is out. And we're like, wah, wah. And then all of a sudden, 2 big shockers. First off, the 7th place finisher in the Derby, Sandman, is coming back to run in the Preakness. I don't think this horse has any shot whatsoever to win the race, but it makes it exciting. Good for them. And then we'll get this social media thing happening, and we'll see what kind of boost they get for the Preakness with the connections of Sandman, West Point Thoroughbreds, and of course their influencer, Griffin Johnson. We'll see how much pop they help to bring to the Preakness. Well, then, we got enough pop here because the runner-up in the Kentucky Derby, Journalism, has signed on to officially run in the Preakness. And that makes the race very, very special, right? Because this horse has something to prove. And that's what I love about Triple Crown races. We don't necessarily need a Triple Crown hopeful for the races to be exciting. The money there and everything, the allure, right? All that's there. But sometimes you get a special horse, and I think Journalism is going to be perfect in this race. He's the horse to beat, no doubt. He's not the horse to bet. He's going to be a ridiculously short price. And he might just warrant that. It could set up beautifully for him. But the point is that we got ourselves a nice field of runners, right? Now we got a nice field of runners getting set for the Preakness. But here's the thing that this does. If you think about it, it kind of makes our Kentucky Derby winner look like a punk. Like horses that you beat are wheeling back and coming back to run in the Preakness, but you're not because you want to extend your career. Okay. I don't know. But okay. Let's look at your Preakness probables. How you gonna make the Derby winner look like a punk ass? Because you don't want the challenge, but everybody else does. Anyway, so now it looks like we have 3 runners from the Kentucky Derby. American Promise, Sandman, and Journalism wheeling right back and running in the Preakness. Rest of your field includes Goal Oriented, Clever Again, Heart of Honor, Pay Billy, Gosker, Bullard, and River Thames, who's probably the speed of the race. So it does make it interesting, and Journalism's not a deep closer. So he'll get the jump on a horse like Sandman, and he should be in the perfect spot, and this race is probably going to set up beautifully for Journalism. But don't forget, we have one more element. There's probably going to be a wet track this weekend, so we'll get to that discussion as to which one of these runners could maybe take advantage and separate themselves from the rest of the field. Goal Oriented already ran on an off track recently, so he might have the advantage. Gotta find out. Talk more about all that after post position draw, and we get into exactly what each runner is going to bring. Until then, we got to get this money, right? We made great money on Friday. Let's try to see if we can keep that going. Play of the day coming up here from Horseshoe, Indianapolis. Race number 5 on the card, 1 mile on the turf course, and got to have a money rider, right? Giovanni Franco on the West Coast. But when we talk about Midwest, my guy is Fernando de la Cruz. Love this dude. All he does is make a difference. He rides the favorites and he comes through, and then he will ride prices, and you'll be like, where'd that dude come from? There he is, 24-1 winner. There he is, 12-1 winner. So he's got what's considered, in my opinion, the speed of the speed in race number 5. There are 2 other horses with some pace, but I don't think they're fast enough. And I know Moonstrike really only has one way to go. He wants to go to the front end. Fernando wants to take him to the front end, so good luck to anybody else who wants to go with them. That could be a problem for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my runner. I'm going to play the 9 in race number 5 at Horseshoe Indy. You know how we do. $15, $20, $25 to win. Those are your options. I'm going to most likely do $25 to win. I don't think there's a double that I like enough to maybe change that like I did on Friday. And we're just going to keep it simple. Play that speed, going a mile on the turf. The turf's got a little bit of moisture listed as good, and they'll continue to get some rain, so they'll probably be off the turf course maybe Wednesday at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. But in the meantime, we try to get this money here on this Monday, all right? For the folks who followed along with Smooth Salute on Friday, thank you for following. I'm so glad you made some money with us. The play of the day doesn't come through all the time. We've been running second, and it's really frustrating. So it was nice to get up and get one and get some value. Let's do it again today, all right? In the meantime, in between time, and until next time, that's going to do it for us here on Horse Race Bets. I'm Ken Rudulph. Thank you so much for following and commenting. Continue to comment. Give me your ideas, and if you disagree with my pick, that doesn't bother me at all. We're betting against each other. Doesn't bother me one bit. You can say whatever you want. None of it bothers me. Let's just keep on playing, all right? We'll see you next time here. In the meantime, good luck and enjoy whatever you're into.